Weihenstephaner versus Maui Bikini Blonde. Both are Helles. Weihenstephaner 5.1 ABV. This one I believe is 5.4. No, 4.8. Both of these are sweet beers, not a lot of hop bitterness. So we're going to see which one's better. I made sure to pour the same amount in each glass. We can also see that the Weihenstephaner is a little bit clearer, filtered a little bit more apparently, and got some foam on the Bikini Blonde, so hopefully that doesn't give it away when I taste it. We'll see which one is better. Now, Weihenstephaner recently was preferred over Sly Fox, a Helles from Pennsylvania, and Bikini Blonde was also preferred over Sly Fox in a comparison that took place recently. So, mix these up, and I'll have to keep my eyes closed on these. So I don't know which one is which, and I hope the foam doesn't give it away. Should be an interesting comparison because I think these beers are going to be very similar, but we'll see when we try them side by side. When you do this with beers side by side, then you can sometimes tell a difference. All right. Very good. Has some bitterness to it. More bitterness than I was expecting, but it's still good. And bitterness isn't a bad thing. This is good too, but the flavor is not as good. It's slightly more bitter, but it has more of a, I guess you can say, a grassy flavor. I think that this is Bikini Blonde because I'm pretty sure I tasted the foam or felt the foam in there, and well, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I think this is the Bikini Blonde because this is more hazy than this. I think, but we'll see. This is a good drinkable beer. Pretty consistent start to finish. So is this one. A little bit stronger. It's like this one turned up about a half a notch in strength, in flavor strength. Quite a bit bittery compared to this one, which is less bitter, more sweet. The feel is pretty much the same between the two as far as the crispness of each beer in your mouth. When you take a drink, you feel that tingling sensation. I would say, yeah, this one has more of a tingling sensation to it. I once described that as sandpapery feel, but I guess tingling would be better. Kind of the tingling you get when you drink something carbonated. So you would think that this has more carbonation, but I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if that's what causes that tingling flavor. It might be, more acidic. I think acidic things cause a tingling flavor, like lemons and limes. When you eat them, or drink their juice, it has kind of a tingly flavor to it because they're acidic, I think. I mean, I know they're acidic, but I'm thinking that's the cause, or it could be the cause. I don't know. I just want to make sure that when I make these videos, I don't want to make claims that I can't produce evidence for that are true. So if I say that the acidity causes a tingling, it's just a guess. I don't know if that's for sure what the cause is. It could be something else. I don't know. So that's why I say I want to make it clear that I want to give straight information. And if I make a claim, you got to understand that any claims that I make are my opinions unless I can produce some kind of evidence to show that they're true. Well, as we're getting down to the bottom, I'm going to take the temperature of these two, because I think that the Weihenstephaner is still a little bit warmer. They're both 50 degrees. That's Fahrenheit. For those of you in Europe, unfortunately in the US, we rarely use metric units. And we use, I believe, what is called the US Common System, or USCS, US Common Units, USC, I don't know, something like that. But it's illogical. We should go to the metric system like most of the world, in my opinion. Because metric makes sense. It's much more logical. It's much more clear. Whereas 12 inches make a foot, 5,280 feet make a mile, 3 feet make a yard. It's just ridiculous. Whereas in the metric system, 100 centimeters make a meter, 1,000 meters make a kilometer. It's all straightforward. 1,000 cc's make a liter. Cubic centimeters, that is. I really don't know which one is which. I was thinking this is the Bikini Blonde, but the clarity or the opacity in each of these seems to be about the same. These two beers at this point are virtually identical in appearance. I would say, well, maybe this one is slightly more hazy. It's really hard to tell. So I'm still thinking this is a Bikini Blonde. Whereas when I had my eyes closed, I thought it was the other one. And at this point, they're so similar. It's like the same beer, really. At first, I was able to pick up a little bit of a difference. One was more bitter than the other, but now they're virtually the same for all practical purposes. So how do I choose a winner on this one? I'm going to have to choose something. And I think I'm going to choose the Bikini Blonde. It's sweeter. It has well, this one, I believe, has a more unpleasant finish than the Bikini Blonde, or than this one, if that's what they indeed are. Yes, this one is the Weihenstephaner, and this one is the Bikini Blonde. The Weihenstephaner is stronger, more bitter, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it's still good. I mean, it was better than Sly Fox in my opinion, but so was Bikini Blonde. It was better than Sly Fox. So we have an American Helles that is as good as, if not better, than an authentic German Helles from Bavaria. This Weihenstephaner is from a brewery in Germany outside of Munich, a suburb of Munich. It's near the airport. I believe it's called Freising. Freising, Freising. And it's real close to the Munich airport, north of Munich. I've been there. I've been to this brewery. Had dinner there. You know, they have a beer pub or a brew pub / restaurant, and went there to eat. Got some German sausages and had a couple of liters of Weihenstephaner. My son was with me. He got a Doppelbock, and it was off-putting to him because Doppelbocks, as you may know, are quite strong in flavor and quite caramely. But I like them, and I want to do some Doppelbock comparisons. I like taking American craft beers and comparing them to their German counterparts, just to see how good some of these craft breweries are. Can they measure up? Because Germany is the real thing. Hops and some of the other ingredients used to make beer are not native to the U.S. So when the immigrants came and wanted to make beer, they had to import some of their ingredients. And in many cases, like the malted barley wasn't available here, they used substitutes. Corn in the case of Miller and Coors, rice in the case of Budweiser. And they were called adjuncts. So that's where the term American adjunct lagers came from. When they started making these beers, they just didn't have the ingredients that they needed or that they had in their home countries to make it. So they substituted other things for the missing ingredients. Corn was an ingredient, an adjunct. And as far as I know, hops aren't native to the U.S. They probably grow them here now. They probably grow the malted barley here now. But, you know, in a lot of cases, craft breweries will still import hops from Europe and malted barley from Europe and so forth. I went to Hofbräu House in Newport, Kentucky, which is just right across the river from Cincinnati. and I got a Hofbräu Original, the Helles, and it wasn't good. I didn't like it. I said, "Is this Hofbräu? Is this the same?" And they said, "Well, yeah." They told me that they brewed it locally, but they had all the ingredients shipped in, and they brewed it according to the Hofbräu standards. But they didn't ship in the water. They used local water. And I said, well, so the only difference between Hofbräu brewed in the US at the various Hofbräu houses versus the Hofbräu that's brewed in Germany or in Munich is the water. And it made a difference. I was able to tell right away that it wasn't the same. So I guess there's something to be said for the water. You would think water's water, but maybe it isn't. I guess, water contains, unless it's distilled or something like that, water contains minerals and other things in it, other impurities, so it's not pure water. But whatever water that they use in Bavaria to make their Helles beers seems to be better than the water that you get, at least in Newport, Kentucky. Now, if I went to a Hofbräu house somewhere else where they brew their own beer, there's one in Illinois, I think Belleville, Illinois, or close to it. I've never been there, but maybe if they use their local water, it might be totally different. I don't know. But that's that. I'm giving this one to Maui Bikini Blonde. So I'm going to compare Weihenstephaner to Pabst next. Pabst is even sweeter than both of these beers, so we'll see how that turns out. Because I still have some Pabst in the fridge. So thanks for watching.